Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Strange Happenings. Hey, we got a great one for you guys. Thank you to everybody here in the chat tuning in live. This is going to be, we actually just had an awesome episode that we recorded. We're going to be releasing next Thursday. So we're a bit excited right now. We had Jeffrey and Delcy Wilson here in studio just to kind of get that off the plate. And chat about that. But that episode will record next week. Thank you to all you guys. Look at that. Stoner's dad. We got Nancy. What's happening? Jay Lamb. We got Countercult Dick Meadows. We got
Arcadius Turney.
Arcadius Teamy.
No, is that a
Or
M?
Not to Run. What's happening?
Is that an M?
And Aussie Sue.
Aussie Sue.
Yes.
What's up, Aussie Sue?
Guys, welcome. We're super happy to bring back your weekly dose of strange.
I'm
I'm
little
your host.
hiatus.
Yes, a little bit of a hiatus, but we're actually trying to get on a schedule for Strange Happenings live streams right now every other week, and we're going to be releasing hopefully an interview episode once a week. On YouTube, and then the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, and everywhere else. We're going to keep to our monthly release of interviews, and when we do a Strange Happenings that week, we'll release a Strange Happenings on Thursday. So we're getting our schedule dialed in. We're trying to refine the operation down here. And
just want to make sure we can keep things consistent and, keep pushing out content and not get too overwhelmed and burn ourselves out too at the same time. So it's just trying to stay stable and make sure that we keep doing good content.
Yep, that's right. And, I guess I should mention I'm your host, Mikey, of course. As always, riding shotgun, the bro host, Bub.
What's up?
And tonight we have Stoner is not the loner.
Not the loner.
We have Stoner and Disbro making everything look and sound dope.
There they are.
What's up, guys?
There they are. I love that shot.
That's Master
I love
Control
that shot
Cam.
every time.
What's up, everybody? Everybody give those guys some love.
I'll tell you, one of these days they're going to cut to that shot and there's going to be a beam of light just shooting down in there and they're both going to get sucked up into the mothership.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the inner workings of a mothership. For
I
sure.
love that shot. Yeah, that's great.
But you guys can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at The Strange Road.
You got a Facebook group.
Strange Road Hitchhikers.
Yep.
And, of course, write us a review on Spotify and Apple.
Yeah.
Wherever you listen to your podcasts, go check us out. Hit subscribe. Like this video on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Get all the notifications. We had a wild week last week, starting around Thursday.
Yeah.
One of our videos, a little reel, TikTok, YouTube short.
It went a little crazy.
I guess you could say sub-viral. I don't know what to call it.
I don't really know the degrees of virality. I don't think we're there yet.
First of all, thank you to all of our OG Instagram and TikTok followers.
Yeah.
You guys are the shit. And also welcome anybody that may be tuning into this episode that's from TikTok and Instagram that came over from our Organism 46B clip, which caused quite a stir in the comments.
First off, this podcast show about cryptids and what have you would be like me having a show about investing. The first thing would be I am not a financial advisor, so don't listen to me.
We had many people.
I just like to talk and have conversations.
Yeah.
So if I offended anybody by talking about 46B or saying octopi instead of octopeds or octopuses, we don't mean it.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
The challenge of going to Antarctica, that was a jest. Somebody go down there and find that squid for me.
100%. We know a lot of background, actually. SCP Foundation is something that is tied to Organism 46B series, which it was like, this sounds like a science fiction novel.
I didn't know any of that.
Apparently it is.
Yeah.
And so we also realized that it could be a potential story that broke out on 4chan that was pushed out as...
It wasn't a highlight story. It was like an anecdote of a story.
So when Bub said he knew Bo Diddley, we apparently really knew Bo Diddley.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody in the comments. The love, the hate, we love all of it. Thank you so much.
Can't help it. We're just trying to hopefully make you laugh, and or if you feel like correct us, because I'm interested in being as correct as possible. So I'd rather say something properly. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate it. Yeah. It's kind of gone, like I said, not super crazy, but crazy enough to where I'm like, man, I never thought my face would be in front of that many people.
The shares alone were incredible. So anybody that shared that, thank you so much for getting the word out about.
Do you have more that you want to?
Oh yeah. We'll get there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
I got you.
But we have more reels, more TikToks, more YouTube shorts and clips that are rolling out.
Part of why we need to change up our schedule a little bit so we can get through digesting some of this as well and making all of these other components. So, the
little things can add up with time.
And it's not like, it'll be.
But that's what helps, clearly.
Less content.
Thank you to anybody that's ever shared our stuff. But it was the first time
interacted with it.
We had a lot of people sharing our content, so that was fun. Thank you to all. We really appreciate you guys. And there is some shout outs that I think are due for sure.
Yeah.
All the people that actually came over to our Apple, Spotify, and Google podcast platforms. We actually ended up getting on the Apple Podcast Nature chart, and I think we hit number 3 at one point.
We hit number 3
and stabilized to around. I think we're still holding strong at number 7.
It doesn't seem real because I went and looked at these charts today, and we are next to podcasts that I listen to, and I see the tile, and I know the graphic and thumbnail for them, and I'm going, what's happening? We're number 1 in Qatar. That's a real stat.
Qatar, thank you.
Who knew?
Yes.
Maybe.
And at one point we were number 3 in Australia. I think we're still in the top 10 or 11 in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
New Zealand, thank you.
I don't even need to be in a number ranking. Just knowing that people in Australia are listening, like Sue, like
and sharing.
Is it Tombstone? We have people that listen all over the globe, which still seems kind of like not real. So it's wild to see that what you guys are doing, listening, interacting, engaging, helping us out, it's paying off. It's weird, but it's
absolutely.
it's appropriate for the strange road then, right? It's definitely strange to me.
It.
But it's interesting. You want me to go through some of those?
Oh, no, it's cool. I just had a couple notes of just everybody in Australia, New Zealand, Canada.
Japan. South Africa. Great Britain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
U.S. You guys are rocking it.
Yep.
You got some other shout-outs?
Yeah, so we have a couple shout-outs. Thank you to everybody that's been using the buy a coffee and our tip jar and the super stickers and the super chat, which we try to keep all of our live streams ad-free. And we do keep all of our live streams ad-free. We do have the super chat, super stickers open on all the YouTube live streams. And so all those links are in the description as well. We appreciate UFO Granny for buying us coffee and munchies.
Heck yeah.
Necro was our first super chat sticker ever. Yep. So thank you, Necro.
He's a G.
Neil Stoner, which is AKA Stoner's dad, who's
Papa
in the
Stoner.
Chat, bought us a coffee. Ron Vaughn.
RV.
Good old RV. Thank you,
RV.
Ron Vaughn. And Robin Blake bought us a coffee as well.
Heck yeah,
so
thank you, Robin
Thank you,
Blake.
guys. You guys are the best.
Wow.
And that's too much to list.
This is your eye exam here. Do you want to see? I could be like the Micro Machines guy. Chazzo the Abominable, Smoke Man, Robert James, Richard Minnick, Rusty Tool, Blackbeard Actual, Hank Baldridge, Pin Barlow, Wild Range, Johnny Jasso, Cynthia Prince, Junior Vegas 84, Stephen Oliver, Kendall Bellamy, Aaron Gonzalez, B. Jules, Daniel Toole.
You didn't even say what it was.
We can do that after.
God. These are the YouTube subscribers in the last few days. You guys came over to our channel in force.
I was just trying to get a head start because there were so many of you.
Yeah, well, what names are we reading here?
That's wonderful.
These are YouTube subscribers. Thank you to all the folks that have been coming over and hanging out. And if you guys are in the chat and you're hanging out with us and just found us, awesome. We appreciate the sub, and we'll keep hopefully entertaining you guys.
We try.
Do you want to still go through that list?
No, that's why I was getting a head start. Man, that's so many. How many names are in a row? Like 20? So there's like 60 more names?
Yep.
I can't. Lucky Menace, Joel Duran, Edit Emas, Zing TV, Kevin Sparks, Jamie Tallow, Carly Ha, Jamie Gilhooly. I like that name. Colton and Jackie Lambert. We got Danny Hughes, Nick G, Chandler Irwin, Teflon Woodpecker.
I knew you'd like that one.
Tom O'Hara, Rosile Zemi, Plant Admin, Reese Royce 215, Tack and Hammer, Ron Jones, Gaurav Bagchi, Ryan Vaughn, G-Way, Push to the Control Video, Effersey, Stephen McKnight, Dragon Knight, Michael how do you say that one? Giunta, Adam Johnson, Steel in Four
Got it,
Faces.
Bub.
Yeah.
More, yes.
PlayStation Bandit, People, Stupid Stuff for Stupid, Quasar Ray, or Quasar Ray. That's all I'm going to read. Linda Oakelshin.
Thank you all. And everybody, you know, we already mentioned everybody listening here in the States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Sweden, Japan, Netherlands, U.S. Virgin Islands, and India. That's our top 10.
That's by ranking, yeah.
That's our top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10 states. Ohio, hanging in there.
Hanging
number
in there,
one.
but I'll tell you
guess what? Texas and California,
they're close.
You guys have been coming out
hot.
In full force.
Yes.
Listening to all our episodes. We appreciate the hell out of you guys. We got New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Washington, Georgia, Virginia, and Florida.
Yep.
To all you listeners in those states, that's what's up. We got U.S. cities, Columbus representing.
Columbus still number one U.S. city.
We'd like to grow in our own city as well. Yep. Keep spreading the word about the Strange Road here in town.
Yep.
We got New York City, Seattle, Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, Los Angeles, Dallas, Minneapolis, and Phoenix.
Pahonix.
And that's all I had for shout outs.
Well, let's dive right in.
All you.
You guys rock.
So we're going to start off here first with some videos we found that popped up in my feed. And I tracked down this video. Original was a post by this gentleman off of a fishing boat.
Okay.
And it's his handle, his name is .sauce90 on TikTok. So Sauce, if you're listening, or anybody gets a hold of Sauce90, hit us up.
Let's hear about this.
This video is interesting.
Everybody can hear it at home. Can you hear it? Oh.
And what we're you guys can hear this at home, but what we're looking at is just straight up phone video of these sound. I mean, they do sound like dolphins.
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it.
And then the video shows these things that are swimming next to the boat.
So is it just a dolphin?
Oh my God.
Folks
it's a fishing boat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say that the dolphin are chasing that boat because it's like a buffet on, the water for them right now. They're trolling all these fish and I don't know.
Some of those sounds are pretty interesting.
The only thing is, well,
the video is
they
titled,
make noise like that, right? Above the water. They're audible and, vocalize and
But some folks are saying, and then this guy got obsessed with finding out more about mermaids and finding other videos. And so the next series are him kind of diving in deep.
Oh, wow.
And we have this person.
That's grotesque.
Was originally posted by this gentleman.
That's real?
Well, I'm not sure. Who knows? But it's pretty interesting. I mean, if you were to...
What the hell?
What we're looking at here is the webbed legs to the tail.
Looks like Underworld.
The arm has these, like flying squirrel suits.
Yeah.
For underwater, for essentially fins that are built into the side of it. But look, I mean, that's some serious Hollywood makeup artistry. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, really wild. That's so...
Yeah, I don't know what to think about it. I mean, my first inclination is it's fake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
of course.
just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid costume or whatever they made, dummy or model. The noises, it definitely sounds like something like a dolphin or. Wasn't there a video where like it shows it swimming next to the boat?
Yeah, that's what I thought that was. Well, Is
there another one?
Yeah, so this is straight from Sauce90. The other video I saw on Instagram it did look like, but that could also, it's not included in there. Somebody added that. It seemed fake to me. But
I would be interested if anybody out there is a fisherman of any kind of repute. Let's hear about this. Dolphins, do they chase fishing boats and do they vocalize like this? I would think that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen videos of
and then
people riding around in boats and a seal jumps in the boat.
This version doesn't show them swimming along the side of the boat at all. So who knows if, I mean, this, to me, that's why I wanted to track down the original video, because this is just dolphins out there.
Either way,
it's
creepy.
The videos that are out there in the public have these shots cut with these, they're trying to allude that these mermaids are like flying along.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then there's this drone shot of something swimming in the water that's up from pretty high above, but it's got a pale blue, greenish skin, but it's also part of the water is going to make it look like that. And it's got a fin and legs that are attached that kind of looks similar to the thing we just saw laid out on the medical table.
But I'm going to say person in a suit because, if that's a dolphin or a mermaid, and that's as efficient as you are at swimming, I mean, I'm not saying
doing great.
It's not going anywhere.
He could be just hanging out.
I'm pretty sure that's something we would do late night. Like, hey, let's make a mermaid video.
Yeah.
We got a drone.
I'm pretty sure we would never do that.
Let's get Willie. Let's put him in the mermaid outfit. But again, my one niece loves mermaids.
Blowing up TikTok.
Yeah, she loves mermaids.
People love mermaids.
And I remember the documentary years ago that came out, the mockumentary, and she wanted to like chop it up with me about conspiracies, and I was like, that's fake. And she was like,
the Discovery Channel
kind of destroyed Mermaids her a little bit. But I was like, hey man,
that was a mockumentary.
It's like same thing with the 46B, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be wrong. I have been wrong. I'm gonna be wrong. Okay, whatever.
We never said it.
At least I know 46B is not real now. Great, moving on. Or unless you go to Antarctica and prove me wrong. Then we'll really know.
That comment caused more friction in the comment section of that video than anything. Oh my God.
That's the only way we can be for certain is if somebody ponies up and gets the strange road down to Antarctica to look for organism 46B in the pyramids. Just saying.
Right. Well, there you go. A bunch of more than likely faked mermaid videos.
Possibly.
But that one, like I said, that's really, really advanced. Somebody made that model.
That's
a Hollywood level. I mean, that's
the mock-up.
It's pretty close. It's a good close-up of that thing. But you look in its mouth and it has all these teeth and the gills around the back of the head were interesting.
It didn't scream aquatic demon to me.
Well, no. I mean,
I don't know.
I
don't know. Maybe I've been playing too much Zelda.
Yeah, I think
been in the land of the Zora too much.
Think you have.
King Sidon.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to do this first one?
Sure.
This has been kind of all over.
This has been on Twitter a lot. And,
it's been all over.
I don't want to demonize anybody because, I don't care what you practice or preach or this or that, but, I do have lines. And I think this would probably cross damn near all.
I wouldn't want to catch this on my trail cam.
No. And it's too funny. Well, at least I'm not a nurse anymore, so it'd be stunned something else. But stunned nurse, I caught witches holding a carcass eating ritual on my security camera. This is from June 5th of 2023. A Canadian nature lover's attempt to capture wildlife on camera backfired terrifyingly after she inadvertently documented what appeared to be naked witches eating a carcass at night right by her house. Social media posts depicting the alleged deer-crunching coven are currently blowing up online with viewers speculating the nighttime noshers were conducting some sort of satanic ritual. Here's a quote from the actual resident. I don't know what the heck was up with that. The 36-year-old told Kennedy News of the spine-tingling sight. It really freaked us out. It's not something you see every day. She said she had been riding a horse when she came across a dead deer in her garden. So her and her grandfather, Grandpa Bob, they decided to set up a trail cam to see, would this dead deer attract any, scavengers, any other animals, A lot of times, if there's a carcass in the wild and there's any kind of predators, it won't be there for very long because that aroma is going to get out there. And My God, we used to have a dog that
And
if it smelled it, would bury it all
fast.
around the house.
All the fungus, once it all starts breaking it all
it
down,
eats it
the
up,
mold, it's the bugs.
It's efficient. It's efficient. So
especially when it's warm.
Yeah. So they said they set it up and they got a bobcat on it. They said that was pretty cool, but said they didn't know what they would spot next on it would be apparently a couple of naked people on their trail cam around this deer.
You're not expecting that.
Right? So these photos are taken just after sunset. Her grandfather didn't believe her. He thought she was joking, so she showed it to him. And it showed two disheveled looking women with long black hair obscuring their faces, squatting over the dead deer and appearing to dine on its remains like something out of the 2014 horror flick The Witch. The hungry pair is completely naked except for what looks like loincloths over their nether regions in the found footage horror film-esque scene. It looks like they have wigs on, described Stanhope. One looks like she has blonde hair underneath. She added, you can really tell from the photos, but the hoof was brought up right to her mouth. So she can't really tell if they were actually eating it or what was going on. But, you know, beyond that, like, I don't want a couple people just roaming around on my property, you know, going full Conan. Like, I don't need that. What is that about? That's strange.
Going full Dothraki witch.
That's strange, man. That's really strange. I don't know. Maybe
that's the lady that tried to save Drogo, walking around in your backyard.
Drogo.
Or am I saying that right?
Is it Drogo from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jeez. Oh, Lord of Light.
Call Drogo.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I would be a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, there you go. You don't hear about this every day. Just coming across people doing strange stuff in your backyard and trail cam.
Not just strange. I think we can agree this is a little bit above the bar of strange. Like, that's
so if you guys haven't heard about that, all the links are going to be in the description if you want to read further into that.
Or if you know anything about this, is this a common practice? Like, is anybody going out and practicing, you know, scavenging of animals and not cannibalizing them, I guess, but you're just scavenging. Yeah. That's just strange. Anyhow, I'm over it. That'll give me nightmares just for a day or two. Dothraki witch, says Sess in the City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sess in the City. I like that.
The Dothraki witch. Here we go. We got an article here from Tobias and Emily Wayland. Tobias, Singular Fortean Society.
What's up, Tobias?
Met Tobias at Frogman Festival.
Yes, we did.
Helping out with his presentation on the Lake Huron.
Chicago Mothman?
Yeah, so it's the Chicago Mothman, Lake Huron Mothman sighting of, I think, the 19... was it more recent, wasn't it?
Like I think it was more,
80s
it was more recent
90s?
Than the
Point
more
Pleasant.
well known, yeah.
But unbelievable presentation. He went deep.
Yeah, he knocked it out of the
Who
park.
would have known there was so much to that story?
Right.
But got to meet Tobias, and we might just have something working in the works, trying to get Tobias on the show.
Yeah.
So, guys, well-researched, amazing guy. So
that would be cool.
This is from singularfortean.com, Tobias and Emily. This one's interesting. We've been kind of firing up the Dogman interest here lately. You always hear about people ask us. We went on the Cryptid Hunters. We went on DA's show. We went on, I think I was on Tim's show, the Bigfoot Influencers.
Yeah.
And people like to talk about Ohio has this buzz about dogmen.
I've never seen one.
We're known for Dogman sightings.
I don't know that I want to see one.
The original Dogman sightings, of course, were in northern Michigan. When this really kind of started getting into the zeitgeist, was in northern Michigan towards the Upper Peninsula, where they were having in the 70s these string of Dogman sightings. There was a song made up about it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff may have been made up by some local radio DJ guy to stir up, controversy. So, there's a lot of interesting kind of legends and lores about the Dogman, but then also, Michigan being right there, why wouldn't they, if these creatures are real, be coming down into Ohio?
Sure.
And so,
what would you do if you saw a Dogman?
I'd be scared.
That's what I'm saying.
Bigfoot, probably not as much.
Man,
but the Dogman's a more ruthless, kind of beady-eyed, more animalistic.
What if he's nice?
And he, what?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I've never met one, so I don't know.
Hands you an apple. A little peace offering.
Apple. If that thing walked up and gave me an apple, I'd probably still take the apple.
I'd take the apple. Sure.
I would eat that apple.
Sure. Well, it could be,
Bet it's organic.
I mean, either way, you're not going to refuse an apple to that. Okay.
Look, the Dogman hands you an apple, you eat that damn apple.
That's right.
All right, let's hear about it.
So this investigator, Aubrey Bowen, told Singular 40 in Society that he's recently uncovered a trio of Dogman sightings in southeastern Georgia dating back several decades. So this guy's doing some pretty cool research, and he kind of discovered this stuff by accident. And they were researching paranormal activity in St. Mary's, Georgia, and kind of through their research stumbled upon these accounts. And so the first one is Stephen, who said in 1998 he encountered a bipedal dog-like creature when he was 11 or 12 years old. And he was walking home one late evening, and he starts hearing these strange noises. He looks in the woods, and he sees a shady looking thing. So, it's in the woods, it's dark, and so you really can't see it all that well. But it looked like this thing was eating something, and his first instinct was that it was a wild dog or something that lived in the area. That would be, of course, it's like, holy shit, that's a huge German Shepherd.
Sure.
Some, local neighborhood dog. And then he looked over and he saw it was just trying to keep walking quietly, and it was going to cross the street to the other side of the road. And that's when it scared the shit out of this guy, and his entire body froze. So he stopped moving, and it felt like his entire body was like ice, feeling, and his whole body goes cold, this guy. And so it stands up on two legs, and that's when it didn't look like a dog. So we've had this type of encounter, and you guys can check out our clip of the North Carolina Dogman encounter.
They had
very similar Georgia, North Carolina. We're talking south.
Yep.
I'm not sure where St. Mary's is, if it's along, maybe more near the coast. But this thing was down on all fours, and these things stand up, and that's when this guy's like, oh shit, this isn't some wild dog.
I'd be scared enough it was just a wild dog.
Right.
In the dark, there's a wild dog. This dog starts growling at you. I'm already like, I can't take a dog. That dog stands up and turns into a man, like a dog man. No.
Yeah.
Now you're screwed.
Right.
Who hasn't seen Silver Bullet? Nobody stood a chance. You Louisville Slugger, you need a silver bullet.
Right. One of the other accounts was this person named Renee, and she says they had a car full of friends and had an encounter with an upright canine during the day. So this is a daytime sighting in 2015 in Folkston, Georgia. And it was the four of them in the car, she said, and right in the middle, before you get into the swamp, right in the middle of the road was this. I thought it was a wolf in the daylight, and I thought, what the heck? And looked, and when I did, it caught my eye. It had yellow eyes and stood up. It stood up. It was 7 to 8 feet tall. Now, I ain't the only one that saw this, she said. And it stood up, and it followed us with its eyes, but its legs were backwards. We've heard that before. They bend backwards, like your, my wife's a vet tech. I can't remember what that ligament there is. That dogs have that issue all the time. They need orthopedic surgery because it's basically like RMCL, but it's backwards and flipped the other way. And that's they have a tough time, after when they get old. A lot of dogs, their legs and that part of their body goes out. That's one of the first things to go out in boxers. And so it really is able to somehow, with that leg structure, stand up upright.
Okay.
And we've heard these kind of accounts in the past from DA, where DA and Robbie talked to us about the legs essentially being flipped backwards.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah.
Dogman sightings in Georgia. So, they're everywhere.
Like I said, I'm good without it.
six to 9 foot tall. You hear reports.
You're not outrunning that.
No.
You're not outrunning it. It's too fast.
Not at all. You're done, dead in the water. And that's why, my friend, I would not take an apple from a Dogman.
That's too funny. Are you doing this next one?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So this next one is a New York Post article, and there's some new information coming out about how the feds hid the JFK film that could prove the grassy knoll conspiracy, and this is a lawsuit that's going on. Not the film by Oliver Stone, JFK. We're talking about a film that was shot during the assassination, not the Zapruder film, folks. Right. This is a totally new film. It's called the Nix film.
Which, let's just say, from historical perspective, there is only one film, and it is the Zapruder film.
Right now.
Which I'm saying, that's how everyone thinks about. Well, I've seen that film. I've seen that film.
Rumor that there's a second film.
I mean, has it been long enough? Has everybody died? That was part of the cover-up.
They bought a license for this film. And it's the UIA,
right? Like
that's
what happens, right? We just say after everybody died that was involved in it, you just go, "Hey, okay, well, yeah, they actually did this, and no, it wasn't Lee Harvey." Anybody that believed that, so good for you.
The whole thing with this is that it can actually prove, according to them, that there were at least 2 gunmen, because the Nix film shows the angle, which the Zapruder film is shot from the grassy knoll. The grassy knoll is behind Phil Zapruder. His name's slipping my mind. Abraham Zapruder is the gentleman that shot this on his little home movie camera, but he was in the vicinity or on the grassy knoll with the fence that is really famous, the fence that people reported puffs of smoke coming from behind.
Right.
They heard shots being fired from behind them while they were on the grassy knoll. So this film, the Nix film, shows the angle of shooting across the street from the other side, shooting the grassy knoll and the fence behind. In the JFK film, Oliver Stone portrays one of the gentlemen that they had a really tough time tracking down, but a lot of the people that witnessed, because right behind that fence is a parking lot. And that parking lot was a big part of the 1978 investigation, the Senate hearing committees, where the Senate hearing committee basically said that it was more than likely done by at least 2 shooters, and there was a conspiracy to kill JFK.
Well, sure, yeah.
And so they tried to find this gentleman that was witnessed these guys walking away with these big, long cases that could have been rifle cases. Nobody really knows. But there were several really, really suspicious reports that no one ever came back and followed up on. The FBI, they never came back and talked or interviewed any of these people. This is all tracked down later on in 1978. And so in the film JFK, they go through the man or the men that they thought were behind the fence that were seen on the grassy knoll. So this apparently shows those 2 people on the grassy knoll. And so all of these theories for all these years, this film has hinged on proving that or not. It's the angle, it's the missing angle that shows you what happened on the grassy knoll, supposedly. So they're on a 50-year battle to essentially, so for years they tried to get the original film back from the government's clutches. It would have been very significant if the original Nix film surfaced today, said Jefferson Morley, author of The Ghost and other books about the CIA. With recent advances in digital imaging process, the original film would essentially be a new piece of evidence. There's a significant loss in quality between the first and second generation of an analog film like Nix's. Nix's clip, unlike the better-known film shot by Abraham Zapruder, was taken from the center of Dealey Plaza as the presidential limousine drove into an ambush on Elm Street in Dallas, November 22nd. So, and it also shows Jackie Kennedy frantically freaking out when her husband's part of his brain lands by her. And apparently you can see that, which the Zapruder film, you see his head go back. You see her the first time, the first shot, she realizes it's happening. Then you see his whole head go back. That's when she's frantic. She's crawling on the back of the limousine trying to get off that thing.
Well, right.
And the Secret Service is like going up right there. You can see in this photo where they're grabbing Jackie off the back of the car is what's happening here. So,
no, they keep her in it. They don't pull her off of it. They keep her in the car.
Right, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, again, this is just like, I hate to say that, like, to me, it's great at some point, maybe finally after, again, maybe in another 50 years, they'll actually get to the point where it is all like, yeah, this happened, CIA did it, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's already, the story's, like, we all know the story. For the most part. I don't have all the finite details, but was he killed by a lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, up in a tower somewhere, you know, the greatest sharpshooter in the history of the lived world? I don't think so. It's just like, sweet Jesus. Again, I think you can get away with that kind of like story and cover up malarkey back in the day, and then as it keeps going on and people kept being interested in it, it's going to get harder and harder to cover up. That's why, you know, even with like digitally now, you know, to kind of like obfuscate things or like erase things from the internet, you know, certain people, if you have enough money, you can erase everything about yourself off the internet so that nobody knows who you are.
Right.
That, I mean, that's a real thing. So I think we're shifting into a new era where, like, man, a lot of the stuff that is older that's coming out, and
it's
especially
only a
when
matter
there's more
of time.
evidence,
When the truth comes to light,
start popping off.
It comes to light.
I'm telling you, Joel's blue beam prophecy thing about like how he's like, man, it's just going to get to this heated point, and then they're just going to unleash Project Bluebeam. I think he's pretty close on there. That's the way it feels anymore, because it's just like every other day, just something more ridiculous.
The strange never ends,
No.
including this.
No.
This new lawsuit's 52 pages.
Oh, God.
And they're filing U.S. Court of Federal Claims in D.C., and it's dozens and dozens of documents, and it traces the winding path taken by the original film since Nix created it. And in 1963, the UPI press agency paid Nix $5,000, which is about $50,000 today, for a 25-year license. Okay, they're supposed to return this in 1982. They still got it.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
He's suing them. That's what this lawsuit's about. They will not give it back. Now, the Zapruder film was locked up by Time Magazine, owned that. And who unveiled that on national TV? Geraldo frickin' Rivera, bro. He's the whole reason why we all saw the Zapruder. Well, I was very young. This is in the 80s. Geraldo Rivera was an up-and-coming journalist that actually had some sense of, like, he was, he was doing good work back then. I don't really know much about what he's up to now. You don't really hear about Geraldo a whole lot these days. I don't watch Fox News, so if that's where he's at still, I'm not sure.
He just always reminds me of that dude from Sonic with the little glasses with the red, the mustache.
Jim Carrey plays him in the new Sonic movies.
They should have just tagged Geraldo for that, and they wouldn't have needed makeup.
He's got impeccable hair. Anyways, yeah.
He's got some wild hair.
So, if it wasn't for Geraldo Rivera, Time Magazine had that locked up in a vault too. This film seems like it's even more dangerous than the Zapruder film.
That's why you never heard of it. That's why nobody's ever heard of it.
I mean, it was mentioned.
Could have solved the JFK case 50 years ago if they would have just brought this out.
Well, this was mentioned
Zapruder and been like, hey, from two angles, clearly this man was shot by more than one person.
And if you guys haven't seen Oliver Stone's relatively new documentary on the JFK, he has the film JFK.
Sure.
But he's just released a documentary film, which is several parts about the JFK assassination, which goes into some of the topics they go over in the movie. But the Cuban refugees in the CIA and the operations that they were running down in New Orleans. And guess who was handing out flyers for these folks? Lee Harvey Oswald. The whole thing was a front for the CIA. They were trying to do Operation where they were dressing up these Cuban rebels as not friendlies and attacking as a false flag attack.
Yeah.
And they were setting and Kennedy wouldn't go through with
He
this
wouldn't
operation.
sign off on it because the Bay of Pigs operation got them
Operation Bay of
screwed.
Pigs, yep.
And so he was done with that. Yeah, there's Dulles, Johnson, all of these guys that were in power.
They were going to dress up the rebels as Castro's guys and take down one of the ships, an oil tanker that they were going to dress. Guess whose oil tanker it was?
I don't even care. Whose was it?
George Bush Sr.
Okay.
He was in the oil business back then in Texas. And the ship that they were going to use to run this operation was the Bush family's
oil sounds
tanker.
about right as well. I mean,
so there's a lot of things.
Got a long history of being in the know.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's the
gotta love those.
He was the head of the CIA. In
legacy families of power.
Right.
Even though we're free and elected here.
Which right now I think is the first time that a Bush, a Clinton, or the McCains have never had a sitting seat in the United States government for the first time in, I think they said 60 years or something like that. Or somebody from those families have been involved in federal government. So
sounds about right.
Celebrate, y'all. But this kind of stuff has to come out, and it's not. And, we can talk about get the word out, but hopefully soon we'll see this. I feel like it's just a dam with this that's going to break.
Necro releasing this video now that they can claim it was AI generated.
Oh, 100% Necro.
Not a bad idea.
I never conceived of that, of course.
Yeah, but there's got to be a way to tell.
Well, look at how much they talked about it, how
legit
it's digitally enhanced. They had a whole paragraph that we really didn't cover.
Yeah, but digitally enhanced isn't generated. It's just enhanced. You're not.
But they'll go back and go, look, they're talking about it being digitally enhanced now.
That's what I'm saying. Then everything's an AI generated video in the future right now.
Right.
We'll just say that about everything.
Yeah.
So nothing's real.
I mean,
there has to be a way to tell.
Line.
There has to be a way to tell if it's an AI generated video or not.
Video evidence will just be thrown out of the window in any court ever as non-evidence.
There has to be a way to tell if it's faked. There has to be.
Well, yeah, for sure.
They'll whatever Minority Report. They're gonna start coming up with these people.
You can prove that it's fake, sure.
Crime fighters.
But they'll discount you. They'll discount your credentials. Whoever the person is, that is the Michael Baden in the Epstein case, where his hyoid bone was broken. This guy's been doing this for 50 years, and they're like, "Oh, he's a total kook. He's not a real coroner," even though he's been on the HBO documentary series forever.
Right.
Total expert. So that's what I mean. They'll just discount everything that you say. If somebody says this isn't real, this is a total fake, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
So it's all about, I think, what you're gonna be represented as in the media too.
Could be.
So you want to do this next one?
Sure. From the debrief.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence, and this is all over Twitter. Yeah. This is all over Instagram. This is everywhere.
Ralph Blumenthal.
It is everywhere. Intelligence officials say U.S. has retrieved craft of non-human origin. And so a former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community, Inspector General, extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says possess retrieved intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. The information, he says, has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation for his confidential disclosures, reported here for the first time. Other intelligence officials, both active and retired, with knowledge of these programs through their work in various agencies, have independently provided similar corroborating information both on and off the record. The whistleblower, David Charles Grush, 36, a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office. He served as the Reconnaissance Office's representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force from 2019 to 2021. From late 2021 to July 2022, he was the NGA's co-lead for UAP analysis and its representative to the task force. And so the task force was established to investigate what were once called UFOs, which we now call, we're calling UAPs, which my theory on that. This task force was led by the Department of the Navy under the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. It has since been reorganized and expanded into the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office to include investigations of objects operating underwater. This is a rather lengthy article, and I'm not going to waste everybody's time with reading through it. But basically what's going on here is this door just keeps trying to thrown open. You know, Lou Elizondo and whoever else is coming forward saying, yes, we have this. Yes, we have this. Is this, I think from this article, and you can read this, we'll have it in the show notes and description, but the highlight from this is anything going to happen?
They're not going to protect whistleblowers, dude.
Is anything going to happen? Are we going to find anything out for real?
The whistleblowers are the key to it all. And that's what we were talking about 3 weeks ago, was the putting forward protections for these whistleblowers to be able to come out. You're not going to have guys in secret programs just going, oh, yeah, I was reversed. Like Bob Lazar, if that story's real, him and Colonel Corso and people like that,
okay,
those are rare. Corso was the guy that came out and talked about the Roswell crash, but from Bob Lazar to Corso, how many, those guys are whistleblowers.
What I'm saying with Corso, though, Corso said all this stuff, but was any of it corroborated? What I'm saying is this guy comes out and says it. Yeah. Are we really going to get the facts? You know, this is illegally withheld information from the U.S. public, from the government, from Congress.
Yeah.
Why?
Congress can't get answers.
This is where I think it's private military contracting. It's Lockheed Martin. It's Boeing.
It's
these aerospace engineering companies.
And if there is a secret space program, those are the people running it. Those companies.
Sure.
Not our U.S. government. Maybe they do. But guess who is actually running that stuff? The massive corporations that are, if there is some sort of off-planet, which it's fun to think about, but
Gary McKinnon. Yes. Gary McKinnon talked about that. He found a docket or a paper describing extraterrestrial officers, and he clarified and he said, I don't think they're aliens. I just think they're officers that are not terrestrial. They're not on this planet.
Right.
And that was when he was talking about, he saw those videos at NASA. He is this autistic kind of like computer hacking savant from the UK that got into NASA, found all these images where they hadn't scrubbed out the UFOs and all these cigar shapes and this and that. And then he found that docket, that list for these officers, these off-world ships.
Yeah,
I fully believe that. If we're going to believe that we went to the moon, and we don't think that we have spaceships flying around out. I mean, they've tested all these different ramjet and scramjet and all these different kind of propulsion jets where they're like, hey, this thing's been up in space flying around for like 2 years, but no one's known about it.
Yeah.
But we're conducting tests, and it came back down. Everything's fine. Just look away again.
Right.
That's where, like, take the gloves off. Like, when is it going to be time? I mean, if it's blue beam, if it's not real, just pick something. I think everybody's just anticlimactic at this point. Like, with the JFK thing, okay, great. Like, we get it. I don't know what they're waiting on, why you got to wait so long.
Yep.
Let's just get to where everybody can have a UFO and let's get at it.
Yeah, I mean, this Jonathan Gray says the non-human intelligence phenomenon is real. We are not alone. This guy's high-ranking intelligence.
Right.
And he says it's also a global phenomenon. This is not just happening in the United States.
Well, duh.
Obviously, that's why Russia's, like I said many times, they're way more open, and we've covered their UFO projects in the past. These top secret, they're all compartmentalized.
Yeah.
And so, just like Bob Lazar talked about, where, you can't really get anywhere a lot of times on these projects because
nobody knows,
can't bring in
one hand from the other.
Another expert, like, ooh, we just need this one person to bounce this idea off of to understand, but they're not going to bring that person in to talk to you, to brainstorm, to try to understand things.
Right.
But, that way you keep everything secret, Los Alamos and those underground bases. And, I see the cryptid hunters popped in. What's happening? Man in the Clouds, welcome everybody that's just joining us. We talked about that with the cryptid hunters as well. When we came on her show, we were talking about some of this stuff. But Yeah, there you go. I mean, this is a really long article. We're not going to go fully into it, but
no,
just trying to keep everyone up to date on all the things that are happening with the Pentagon debriefs, all the AARO information, the lawsuits. So, here we go. Trying to do our best to keep up with this stuff because it just doesn't never ends.
It does not stop.
And so this is kind of like piggybacking off this one as well. 5 UFO revelations from NASA's public meetings. So NASA has these public meetings, and some of the things they're here talking about is they've examined around 800 mysterious reports of unidentified flying objects collected over decades, but only a small fraction are unexplained. 2 to 8% is what they're saying. And they had a panel talking about this, and basically this past Wednesday, I guess this was last week Wednesday, they have 50 to 100-ish new reports each month, said Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the AARO, and which is part of the U.S. Defense Department. But he said a number of those sightings, which are possibly real, there's only about 2 to 5% total in their database. So they're getting so many of these each month. And then, in 2021, they had 144 sightings just by military pilots. I didn't realize it was that much.
That's only ones reported.
Right, exactly. I mean, how many people don't want to talk about it? But they talked about privacy limits and NASA's investigations, which is basically like, hey, they're trying to get data from all these other countries. The only pool of data we have is from our internal government, is from the Pentagon, is from our organizations. So one of the things that kind of hinders a lot of this stuff is people aren't sharing information across countries, country to country. So just the continental United States is the only data points they have.
Look, nobody's going to share any information on this because whoever actually does figure it out wins.
Yeah.
Forever.
For all time.
Forever. Whoever figures out this puzzle and cracks it, if it's really going on, they win forever. Yeah. That's what I really think
That's
is
what
happening.
The race is.
And if somebody has actually figured it out, like with the whole purported...
And it's already happened.
Then we have already won, whoever that is.
They've already won.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we haven't evolved as a society as quickly as what we thought we would.
Could be.
Flying cars, free energy, there's free energy. Nobody has to really go to work and do
We're not ready for all of that freeness.
No,
that's
God,
no. That's the funniest part. We could be free if we were ready for it. We're just not ready for it as a species.
And there is no such thing as free energy. I mean, there's a price to pay for that technology to come out too. But
I think there's free energy for sure. It's everywhere. The sun's energy, the wind's energy. There's energy everywhere. There's energy around you right now in this room that we can't even harness.
Well, if you could start measuring those
like neutrinos and shit falling from the sky that they measure in those giant wells in I think Japan or China. Mm-hmm. They catch those particles.
But then also, some of these things are microwaves, optical illusions. They can be easily interpreted,
swamp gas,
and easily skewed as well. All of this information. They mentioned bursts of radio waves picked up by researchers in Australia. They had a really strange structure. People couldn't figure out what was going on. Then they started to notice a lot of them bunch up together, and around lunchtime. So these strange which we've talked about some of this before too. It turned out that the scientists, their instruments were picking up the signals from a microwave used to heat up their lunches.
Oh, wow.
And then also the stigma and harassment hampers research.
So, well, yeah, sure. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Commercial pilots are reluctant. It's just not there yet. It's getting better, but people, I'm sure, there's still quite a bit of harassment and reluctancy even to this day, even though the Pentagon and everybody else admits these programs are real. People aren't going to come out. Then guess what? You got to come on a really big podcast and get put on the spot, and social media goes off about maybe the interview that you gave, and it goes viral, and then next thing you know, you're 20 million TikTok videos that they're getting remixed on, and you don't want anything to do with that world.
Yeah, I mean, your life can get turned upside down like that.
Yeah.
Like quick.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a wild thought. The digital erosion that can happen underneath your feet.
So, this new era of transparency, like we said, they're trying not that hard. They're trying to make it a public display of we're telling us they're trying.
They're trying to do a magic trick of look over
here. Yeah. It's a total slip. AARO.
I'm sorry, but I don't buy that they've never seen anything, that they don't know anything, that all, whatever.
They're sure working hard to keep these whistleblowers quiet.
If they didn't, and Gary McKinnon didn't see anything when he went into NASA's files and what have you, we wouldn't have tried to extradite him really hard. And the UK said, no, we're not going to let you have him.
I'm glad.
I'm really glad, because they would have Julian Assange that dude.
He's a patriot, dude. Yeah. That guy's a patriot. Edward Snowden, as far as I'm concerned, those people are patriotic.
I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of Assange.
They let us know about all the things that the government's doing to us that we would have had no idea without these whistleblowers. You got to have people on the inside.
They damaged our national security by telling us that we were being
they're traitors. They were called traitors. Not to me.
Yeah.
They're heroes as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, kill them, shoot the messenger, right?
Right.
Oh, well, whatever.
Well, let's hit this last one. This is our old buddy Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a new crop circle that's formed in the UK. Yep. We like talking about crop circles.
Oh, yeah.
We had a special guest in here tonight who was also a crop circle researcher turned Serpent Mound researcher that knows a lot about crop circles.
Yeah. This is cool. This is just, how recent was this?
Look at that beautiful, perfect geometry.
1st of 2023.
Yep.
I'm not really like that well versed on crop circles and how often they happen, but
tons in the UK. I think they have the highest.
Would love to see
sightings.
A crop circle.
Look at that. So the 2023 crop circle season is officially underway in the UK, and we got the first reported discovery. And Jeff actually was, when we were in here for the episode, said that the farmer already mowed down all the wheat.
Yeah.
Or whatever this field was. And you could just see like a strip going through the middle of it. It's
wild.
Located in the county of Wiltshire, consisting of 6 blade-like shapes. Actually, we were in Wiltshire, me, Stone, and Chris, when we were on our trek through, when we went to Stonehenge.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Wiltshire for, I think that's where we stayed, actually. But it's very much beautiful rolling hills. What's what you think of when you think of English countryside? Just beautiful. So 6 blades is what we're looking at here.
It looks like a fan, yeah.
It's a solar symbol. You know what I mean? It's definitely, don't you think so? It's some kind of a sun symbol. It's uncertain who have created the design. But that said, the origins are up for debate. In appearance, it serves something like a relief to crop circle enthusiasts after all of April and nearly the entire month of May passed without a single formation being discovered, making this the latest start to the season in several years. Cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I need to see one in up close and personal sometime.
Small circle in the center with these 6 blades coming off it. Looks like a fan. Looks like some kind of a ancient symbol of sorts.
Yeah, you could fire that bad boy up.
I'm getting hypnotized just watching this video. You're staring now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's very.
And the drone movement, the parallax helps too. There you go.
I mean, and just like, I'm not saying that people can't make them, right?
Oh, obviously, yeah, 100%.
Certain ones have been faked before,
100%.
Right? But I don't know. Like, how do you get that precise and fake them that well?
Really, really intricate.
And if they're not faked and it is this UFOs or orbs of light or whatever the hell it is, it comes down and
the sacred geometry and the shading and
that too
patterns. I mean, the one by Serpent Mound is that perfect eye.
Is there? I wonder if somebody has like an entire collection of all the crop circles that have ever happened that we know of in recorded history, and if they've like put them into like
has a whole website,
put them into like machine learning so it can figure out the patterns and see if there's some reason or rhyme or reason to the patterns or any repeating patterns or.
That's what I think Jeff's original group.
One showed up in Italy too recently.
Oh, nice.
Italy?
Yeah.
Whereabouts, man?
Out on the farms.
Don't mess with that Parmesan. I'm telling you, that's currency, I believe. There's like a whole bank that you can just like store wealth in wheels of cheese, and I'm down with that too.
A whole wheel of cheese.
Yeah. I want some of the, I was showing Kim the other day, they make this like meal of Alfredo, but it's in like they take the whole block of cheese wheel, they throw your pasta in that, and that's how they cheese it up, and then like that's serious. That's like top level Italian.
That's taking it to the next level.
I need to find one of those. Man, now got me thinking of food. Brad's took it would be interesting if any crop circles would align with any of the seasons people made or not. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? Brad, we're going to need you to illuminate that for us a little bit, because I don't know what the heck you're talking about. But I'm trying. Well, it's a good episode. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things still.
Yep.
But strange never stops. I have bookmarks for I've got so much to do in retirement of just reading all of the bookmarks of weird stuff that I keep tagging.
Yep.
We haven't had to cover any of the financial stuff here lately, which has been good.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys have seen our posts today. We were talking about we're sponsors for the Friends of the Serpent Mound Summer Solstice event. We're going to be helping out Fossum and Jeff and Delcy Wilson with a little bit of video work. And then we're also sponsors for the event. And we're doing a live podcast out there. The event is June 23rd to the 25th, Soaring Eagle Retreat Center.
Yep.
You guys can head to serpentmound.org, check out the event details. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There's speakers, music, crystal bowls. This is all about sound healing. Music that is the theme for this year's. Last year, a couple years ago, was paranormal. And this past year, we had there was Dusty Roof, the Bigfoot. So it was more of a Bigfoot nature.
Right.
Last year was very centered on that. They're going to have a Falconeer out there this year. They have dowsing associations going to be out there. We just learned a bunch of this stuff. And then we're doing a live podcast. Would be June 24th. And we're going to be talking with Jeff and maybe Gary Argabright, who has this harness artifact collection, ancient artifacts. And we'll see who else can hop up and join. But that'll be at 4 o'clock from what we understand. We'll be out there all weekend. I'll be camping out there. Come out, say hi. If you guys can make it to Ohio,
stop out.
Come and hang out, dude. Free event. There's no camping at the festival, but there's accommodations and stuff around. If you guys find yourself wanting to tap into some serious energy on the solstice or around the solstice,
right?
It's right after the actual solstice, which is on Wednesday. But the sun is still making its way in the position of the summer solstice alignment at the head of the Serpent Mound will still be there. And then we always fly drones up. And last year we connected Jeff's drone to the projector and live stream the summer solstice sunset on Sunday. So music out there, there's vendors, all kinds of cool stuff. So go check that out. And then you guys can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at The Strange Road. The Strange Road Hitchhikers group is popping off. Thank you to all of our new followers on Instagram and TikTok, and then the new subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate the hell out of you guys.
Anybody and everybody checking us out, we appreciate it.
Yeah, sharing our stuff. It's been a lot of fun this past week. Seeing things just kind of settle down here in the last day or two. But I definitely had to shut all the incoming notifications off of my personal phone.
I just turned them off
days
from the start.
It was nonstop.
I had no clue anything was going on. Mike's like, "You seeing this? No,
you were on hanging out with your family.
What's happening?"
Yeah,
that was funny. I was like, I have no clue what's happening.
But be sure and share and like this video. Hit subscribe if you're not already, and we love the reviews in Apple Podcasts, all you guys reviewing. Thank you so much. And, of course, thank you to Sir Bro of Diz and Stoner, not the loner, tonight.
That's right.
And those guys trooped it out and fixed a bunch of things with our audio system tonight. And we're putting in the work to make everything look and sound awesome. And any last words, Bub, before we sign out?
Good.
Awesome. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys rule. Backyard
Later.
TV. Hey, Mopar Phil. What's happening, dude? Sorry if I missed you. And Sessin in the City. And, of course, that's right. Make sure you follow at Necromechanimal on Instagram. Check out all the post-show edits he does for our show.
Word.
Incredible stuff. They're always hilarious and a riot.
Yes, they are.
So if you guys don't follow him, make sure you do, because otherwise you'll miss all the stuff that he's putting out. And we've been seeing some stuff he's been doing with Cryptid Hunters here lately.
Yeah.
So that's been great.
Yep.
We've been getting a kick out of those with Robbie and the Cryptid Huntress. So, of course, we're signing out. Peace, guys.